teacher as architect of a new India. Good morning, dear students. Today we're going to explore a beautiful and powerful idea teacher as the architect of a new India. Yes, you, the teacher or the future teachers, are not just someone who's going to give homeworks or checks notebook. You are the builder of dreams, the shaper of society. Let me tell you a small story before we begin. Once, a young boy from a small village sat on a mud floor under a tree and studied every day. He had no electricity, no shoes, no proper books. However, he had one thing, a teacher who believed in him. That boy grew up to become a scientist and then the president of India. You guessed right, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. This is what a teacher can do. You are not just teaching students, you are shaping the future of a nation. Let's begin our journey today to understand how we can become the best teachers of our students. So, we have to understand power relation in education. Now, let's talk about power relations in education. What does that mean? It means who has control, who gets what, who decides how education works. Think about this. Why do schools in cities have better buildings while village schools struggles for toilets? Why do some students have access to laptops and others do not even have textbooks? This happens because of power dynamics, how power and resources are shared in the society. Many of these inequalities are rooted in history, in culture, economic, and politics. So, as future teachers, we must not ignore these realities. We must understand them and actively work to create fair, equal classrooms. For instance, let's say two students, Ravi and Rima, come to your class. Ravi speaks English fluently and comes from a rich family. However, Rima is a shy student, does not understand English well, and comes from a tribal background. Now, if you give Ravi all your attention just because he answers quickly, you are reinforcing power imbalance. You're doing what? You're reinforcing power imbalance. However, if you encourage Rima with kind words, explain things slowly, use her mother tongue where needed, then you are breaking that unfair system. Then we also have gender and education. How many times have we heard things like boys are better at maths, girls should become nurses, not scientists? These are gender stereotypes and they are everywhere in homes, in schools, and even textbooks. As teachers, we must challenge these ideas. So, what we have to do, we also have to encourage boys to take up arts and care work. Let girls also explore science, sports, as well as leadership. Tell the girl students about women who changed the world, like Kalpana Chawla, India's first woman astronaut, or Dr. Tessie Thomas, known as the Missile Woman of India. So I can give you tips for teachers. What you can do, use gender neutral language like they instead of he or she. Let students choose roles in plays or group work. Do not assign them based on gender. Do not assign the works to student based on gender. Also, many girls drop out of school early due to what? Due to family pressure or period issues. So schools must have flexible policies, provide sanitary napkins, and create a safe space. You're not just teaching students, you are breaking barriers for them. Then we also have ethnicity and culture in education. India is full of different languages, food, clothes, and customs, isn't it? That's our strength. However, sometimes schools follow only the dominant culture and forgets the rest. Many students from tribal or minority backgrounds felt left out. A child from a Khasi background might not find anything about their culture in textbooks, or a Tamil speaking child might struggle in a Hindi only school. So, what teachers must do as teachers or as future teachers, as future educators, let's make sure to include multiple perspective. Teach children about festivals from across India. Invite parents to talk about their culture. Start bilingual programs, or at least use the child first language sometimes. It will build that particular child's confidence. Let the classroom be a mirror of society where every child feels seen and valued. Then another is disability and inclusive education. Now let's imagine a child named Anaya who's in a wheelchair. Her school has no ramp, no special toilet, no peer support. What message are we giving that particular child? We are saying, you don't belong here, right? That attitude must change. That statement must change. As a teacher, our job is to make sure every child belongs. So, what we must do? We must use universal design for learning. That means design lessons in a way that works for all students. So, what we have to do? We have to use pictures, we have to use audio, we also have hands on activities, not just reading and writing. So, we have to train ourselves in using assistive technology like speech to text apps or magnifying tools. And most importantly, build peer support. So we have to teach children to help one another. Let them become each other's strength. I once read about a class where one boy was visually impaired. His best friend read stories aloud to him every day. Together, they scored the highest marks. So you see, that's the power of inclusive education. Then we also have class and economic inequality. So let's talk about economic inequality. Now, students from poor families often don't have breakfast or proper shoes or even school bags. Some may skip schools to work and earn money. Can such a child compete equally in class? It's no. But what can teachers do? Teachers can help bridge this gap. So, what teachers must do? Teachers must support systems like scholarship, free midday meals, as well as vocational training, which can help the students stay in schools. In Tamil Nadu, The free midday meal program increased attendance drastically. Children came to school not just for learning, but also for food. And even in Meghalaya, we are seeing this trend where students do not just come to school for learning, they also come to school for food. So, as teachers, we must also invite local businesses or NGOs to help. A local tailor might support or might sponsor school uniforms. A bakery could sponsor snacks. So, dear future teachers, you are the connector between the community and the classroom. Then, what do we have? We have poverty and reproduction of disadvantage. Poverty does not just mean lack of money, it creates a cycle of disadvantage. A child born in poverty is more likely to work early, drop out of school, and remain poor. But guess who can break the cycle? Yes, you, the teacher or the future educators. Provide quality education that goes beyond textbook, introduce mentorship programs, help students dream big, encourage higher studies for students. I saw Sandeep talk about a boy who wanted to become a mechanic. A teacher inspired him, that particular boy, to join Polytechnic. That particular boy now runs a garage and teaches others. From poverty to pride, all because of what? Of one teacher's support. Your words can change destinies. Then we also have teachers realizing true human potentials. Finally, let's talk about the heart of teaching, and that is realizing human potential. This is not about marks or exams, it's about helping students become the best version of themselves. So, as teachers, we have to use critical pedagogy where we teach students to ask questions. Why are things unequal? Or what can they do to make society better? We also have to build empathy. We have to let students visit old age homes, clean their neighborhood, help others. That is real education. We also have to create a safe space for dialogue. Let students share, debate, respect one another. A teacher once asked her students to write about a problem in their village. One boy wrote about water shortage and suggested a rainwater harvesting system. The school implemented it. Imagine this small idea from a child solve a real problem. That's education that awakens mind and heart. Dear teachers in training, you're not just here to get a job, you're here to change lives, break barriers, build bridges. Remember, every time you enter a classroom, you carry the hope of a better India. Be kind, be curious, be strong, and most importantly, be the teacher you always wish you had. Thank you.